everyone, and thank you for joining us for this month's Shotsuki service. We will begin the service with the chanting of the Sambujo, followed by the reading of the Shotsuki names. Namon dubs, namon dubs, namon dubs, namon dubs, namon dubs. The Shotsuki names for the month of June: Eijiro Okamoto, Suzy Hatano Okamoto, Grace Sueko Ito. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namon dubs, namon dubs, namon dubs. We'll now have the chanting of the Juseige. Namon dubs, namon dubs, namon dubs. Gagon chosegan hishimu jono shigan fumanzo sefu joshoga gaomu ryoko fui dai seishu 祭ショッピング政府上昇が餓死成仏の病床長寺本空虚未消門政府上昇が利欲人少年上映修凡行しぐ無浄土一生天人地人力縁大根不詳無才道少女三苦名交際修薬難回避知恵言名詞根門案閉塞小悪道通達全宗門高僧上満足異様老寺本日月修十期天候音普賢一種解放像公正空毒を上王大集中説法四子君不要一切物具足修徳音元年出上満得意三害を女仏無下地通達未不詳願学永人投資最小尊志願や効果大戦王官の国書天人東内妙見ナマンダムナマンダムナマンダムナマンダムナマンダムナマンダム願にしく毒病の聖祭道本母大心往生安楽Namandaus, namandaus, 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 namandaus. We'll now have the reading of the Three Treasures, followed by the reading of Sankyemon. Fortunate is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Rare is it to encounter the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not seek the truth of the Dharma in this life, in what life shall we find it? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken within us our highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the Dharma and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in a life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriad of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful teaching. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Sankeimon. Ninjin ukegatashi, ima sudeni uku. Buppo kikigatashi, ima sudeni kiku. Konomi konjo ni mukatte to sezumba, sarani uzere no shou ni mukatte ka konomi o dosen. Daishu moro tomo ni shishin ni sambo ni kieshi tate matsuru beshi. Mizu kara butsu ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masani negawaku wa shujou to tomo ni daido o taige shite mujoi o okosan. Mizu kara hou ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masani negawaku wa shujou to tomo ni fukaku kyōzō ni irete chie umi no gotoku naran. Mizu kara sou ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masani negawaku wa shujou to tomo ni daishu o tori shite issai muge naran. Mujou jinjin mimyo no hou wa 100,000万号にも愛をことかたし、我今検問し従事することを得たり、長枠ば如来の真実義を下し立て祭らん。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。And now I will give today's Dharma talk. As numbers are still slowly declining, we see more things opening up in terms of businesses and things that we can do. And one of the things that has opened up of note is Disneyland. So Disneyland has opened up and there's all these videos about the new Avengers campus and different fun things that you can do. Different people are enjoying and posting it on social media and stuff. And Disneyland, I'm sure, as many of you know, is a place that is very close to my heart as I love Disney. As a kid, I would grow up, I think just about, maybe once a year we would try to go, at least until I was, I think in like middle school or something. But I loved going as a kid, and then also, later in life, I enjoy also going as an adult. However, going to college and meeting different people, you come across many different kind of people, and so there was people like me who grew up going to Disneyland and would go also as adults as well. And then there were people who did not go to Disneyland as a kid. And what was interesting about the people who did not go to Disneyland as children is when they went as an adult, they really didn't like it. They didn't see the appeal, and it was not a good time for them. So people on the other side, the people who love Disneyland, they would say, like, what are you talking about? How could you not love Disneyland? It's so great, and there's all these different things that are so wonderful, and they just didn't get it. And personally, I'm not criticizing anyone who does not enjoy Disneyland. There's plenty of drawbacks to going, which is fine, and I understand all of them. But I think that there is a connection that people have when they go to Disneyland as children that connects to them still as an adult. And perhaps it's nostalgia, maybe it's memories that create this feeling. But I think one also possible reason is that it helps them remember how it was to think and act like a child. And being a child, maybe some people think is a negative thing, right? When you call somebody childish, it's not a good thing. It's this negative connotation. However, when we realize that children have this very amazing way of looking at the world, we can see the benefits of thinking and acting like a child. One perhaps example of why it's difficult to try to want to act like a child is an interaction that I had, which is kind of this brief one. But oftentimes, children will ask whatever's on their mind, and they'll say whatever comes to them. Right? There's no filter with children, and so I was asked by a child one time how old I was, and I mean it wasn't this past year. I can't remember how old I was, but I must have been, at least in my late 20s, or if not, my early 30s. And they said, like, oh yeah, I'm like 29 or something. And this kid, I don't remember how old they were, but they said, wow, you're so old. You're like my grandma. That's how old you are. And immediately in my head, I'm thinking, no, I'm not. I'm not that old. I'm definitely not as old as your grandma. But to the child, being however old they were, 5 or 6 or something, really the difference between being 30 and being 80 is not that different. It's much, much older than they were. And so I get, lumped together in this group of people who are much older than that child. So this is an example of, no filter and just expressing whatever they have. And I think we can learn something from that in our take to Buddhism, and also just our understanding of life in general, where we have this ideal of truth, but then also understanding the world through this kind of awareness. So first, with the truth, we look at ourselves in a certain way. We look at the world in a certain way, and as we grow up and we get older, it's colored by all of these things that we learn, all of these things that we, in all honesty, start to get bitter about. We have these connotations of good and bad. We start to think of things in black or white. But as children, they just see things as they are. So if I look at myself in that interaction with the age and everything, I think I am a certain way, and I distance myself from people who are, much, in my opinion, much older than me. But looking at it through a child's eyes, am I really that different? I'm really not that different from grandma. We're both people. We both have a certain amount of life experience. And really, in all honesty, who knows when either of us is going to pass away? I would be, if I was to pass away tomorrow, then there's many people who are much older than me who would have outlived me. And so in that sense, the truth and reality of us being very similar can be seen by this child, but is blocked out by myself because of my own diluted way of viewing the world, viewing myself, and viewing other people. So there is this truth that children see, that they say they see the world as it really is, because it's not colored by all of these experiences that have made them think being old might be bad, or if you get old then you're wrinkly and that's not attractive, right? All these things. For them, life is as it is, people are as they are. And secondly, and perhaps even more importantly, this awareness, or as it was also said by the previous bishop of the BCA, was that we have this wowness which can be expressed through Nembutsu. And one way of understanding that is how the kids understand this amazement or this incredible experience. So when kids go to Disneyland and perhaps see a show like Fantasmic or something, and then you see these incredible special effects, the engineering and everything is just amazing to see them create these wonderful shows. As an adult, I'm thinking, when they're making fire, they're just burning off gas, which is gas I could use, I don't know, in my car or on my grill or something. Or you see the electrical parade and I'm thinking oh man, I wonder what the electrical bill would be on that. So my experience is having to pay for bills and everything colors my experience going to Disneyland and seeing these different effects. But as a child, through child's eyes, it's wow, that's amazing. This dragon is breathing fire, or they have all these beautiful lights going down the street. And there is this sense of awe, the sense of amazement, the sense of awareness of just how incredible this show is. And so we can bring that kind of wowness just like Socho Ogui had told all of us with this Nembutsu, when we truly understand the meaning of that, we feel the wildness of the world around us. Today, particularly being a Shotsuki service, it's incredible to look at ourselves and feel the wildness of where we have come from in terms of all the people who have passed before us. So with our adult eyes, we have this very concrete idea of who we are and what we've done and everything important to us that we've achieved, which is true, but is also a very, very, very small piece. It's diluted and it blocks out all of the incredible accomplishments that have allowed us to be here. So when we open up our hearts, when we really, truly try to understand and see the world as it really is, then we recognize this sense of awe that all of these people before us have come and they've done so much so we are able to now exist as we are. So I hope as we remember our loved ones today and through this month, but then also as we look at our own self and our lives in general, we try to remember sometimes to stop and really try to see through the eyes of a child, to see the world as it really is, and try to remember that kind of amazement and sense of wonder that we can continue to incorporate into our lives. If you could please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Our closing gatha for today will be Ondoksan 1, performed by Merv Mariam.